The S&P 500, the Nasdaq windows are recovering here on the day. Now, we've been saying a little bit of a bullish narrative coming out of the kind of creeping out, right? What did we know? We've known volume, number one, and then number two, the S&P coming right into its 200 daily moving average at 418, 419. On top of that, we knew the daily candles very strong. On top of that, yeah, it's like on top, right? Volume picking up again, once again, down here at lows, right? Now, again, you zoom out to the daily, the weekly, whatever you may be, and you're going to notice volume tends to pick up on reversal, right? That's when this starts to step in. Now, I'm not going to say inflation issues are out of the picture, right? I'll talk about them here in the video as well. So we have a lot to jump in here to really discuss about where we're going next week and why I think there's a lot of big money opportunities coming up very soon. Before we do that, to ask you to do two things. Consider liking and subscribing. As you can see, every single day here I post videos so you're prepared on the market, as well as on the Discord if you're interested. The link is down below, right? You want to see how we're trading, why we're trading. The link, you can go check it out if you so choose. Now, some of you don't know, but I do have the second channel to where I post only educational content. A new video just came out today right here, so you can go check that out. The link will be down below as well, but it's just Tyler Wilson OD. That's the second channel, just education, things along those lines. But let's get back into the video. Now, let's talk about a few things here. Today was really interesting, but again, I just want to highlight, as you can see right here, your 200 daily moving average right there, bouncing right off it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. In Q, what do we say here? 14.6, you're bouncing right off of it. You ended up bouncing today and really pushing above every kind of resistance that we had here, right? 15,000, 15,117, also being held above. Very strong day for tech, like we've been saying. The range finally broke back to the upside. You're pretty illiquid back into 15.3, 15.4. So that's where we're at, number one. Now, SPY as well. We're looking to get it back above like 431. That's where you got rejected at right here, which is also your local low that you had back here on June 26th. So that's where you're looking at. You're trying to get back above that going into Monday morning. Now, let me give you a few things. Now, first, I will say, if you don't know, Monday is a bank holiday, so markets will be open. Bonds will be closed. You expect some slower volume. Just expect it. But what I want to talk about a little bit in detail here, okay, is what's happening. Now, today was interesting. You had some sell-off this morning with non-farm payrolls, and then once again, you pop back up. And just to show you what happened, everyone was like, they were tagging me in the YouTube video, which, again, guys, I like to have fun here. I like to, make some jokes occasionally and say, oh, we're winning, this and that. At the end of the day, guys, though, I'm not trying to rub it in anyone's face or anything like that. So people try to come here and they try to say, oh, Tyler, your longs are down. Too bad you told everyone to go long. But the story that they're missing is when you go to ES and NQ, which is all that matters, is you went right back down to support and you bounced immediately. So it was actually one of the strongest things that could have happened this morning by selling and then bouncing immediately. It was actually your fastest bounce that you've had at this level once again. And then it was followed through by the most volume that we've had on the S&P, right? This is the most volume you've had in months, 113 million. Most volume you've had since right here, since March 17th. So food for thought, right? This is why I always say, when we're looking at trends, when we're looking at the underlying movement, right? Stop over analyzing the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 15 minute, right? Look at the daily and weekly. I was trying to tell Discord all day, the weekly candle is very important here. And again, you look at these weekly candles that are coming in here. This is the weekly on Nasdaq. Incredible. Strong candle. ES, arguably a stronger candle. Arguably the best candle that we've had, maybe since June 12th. This just might be. That is literally the definition of a reversal candle. I'm not saying a reversal has to happen, but the signs in front of us look very good. And I'm going to keep going on. And then the last thing here was IWM, which I'll say IWM is probably the worst looking of all the candles that we've had here. But IWM bouncing at support and basing at 170, like we mentioned. IWM risk on, risk off. You're bouncing here. What you want to see. Across the board, everything good that you wanted to happen has happened. On top of that, further, the dollar, DXY, right? You rejected at that resistance. We had all this marked. Go check it. We were targeting 107.2 when we were down here at 105, right? You rejected off that. You're coming back down, back into support. I'm going to tell you right now, this support there's a high chance it gets broken through to the downside. Why? And this was the biggest shocker of all. US oil, the crude barrel. This has been your leading indicator on the entire pullback on the market, going all the way back to June. I was a little bit naive, ignorant to what was happening here, even though I've been preaching about oil. But I'm telling you right now, this pullback, pretty gnarly. Rejected from 94 back down to 82. A $12 drop in about 4 days when it took you almost 17 to 19 days to get to that level. I'm just saying, a lot stronger push down than the push you had to the upside. Now, OPEC could announce anything over the weekend, so make sure you're keeping your head on a swivel. But I'm going to tell you right now, if oil continues to drop and it holds below $82, $81 here, you're going to fall pretty quick. If oil falls, not this CPI reading, but the next one, going into most likely November, will be very good for the market. Hate me, love me, I don't care. All I'm doing, I'm just going to give you the truth, whether you like it or not. Don't care. At this point, people are going to comment down below, oh, his clickbait thumbnails and this and that. I don't care, guys. At the end of the day, I make videos for the one guy that gets something out of this, or the 2, 3 guys, MILFs. We don't care. I'm not discriminating, right? But I'm just saying, this is pretty great action. And if you actually start to sell off on oil, the opportunity to the upside will be ridiculous. Because I'm telling you right now, if the Fed comes into this, they're meeting in November, whatever it may be, and they start to say, oh, well, inflation, numbers are back on track. We don't need a raise. Very good outlook. Okay? Very, very strong. I can only say it so many times. Okay? Now, also, too, you're going to start seeing yields follow the traction from the dollar. Now, the 2-year yield is the only one that's up for grabs. It's kind of just doing its own thing. But the 5, the 10, the 30, right? You had a bigger pullback and they kind of bounced a little bit back today. But I'm going to say these will follow the dollar, in my opinion. The dollar continues down. If the dollar loses that support, like we mentioned, right? You go back over here. It's basically 105.8. If you lose that support, yields will pull back with it, and it'll be a pretty healthy movement for the market. Okay, I'm going to tell you that right now. Now, 7 minutes into the video, I think it's time we cover some equities. What are we liking? The big money plays. Now, I'm going to go over some names that we've already mentioned that we've been talking about all week. I said Apple all week long, over 174. It was probably the easiest trade that you're going to get in front of you. 170. A lot of people are saying going short on Apple. I didn't get it. I didn't get it at all. So Apple, 174 line in the sand. Higher lows, you mounted it today. You dropped below this morning, mounted, pushed up to 177, 178. That in itself, I was telling Jay in a message, in a call before he left, this is one of the most bullish signs for the market as well. Anytime that Apple is holding and making higher lows, while SPY is kind of consolidating or pushing lower, very bullish sign. I wouldn't say Apple dictates the movement for the S&P, but it's the biggest impact as far as one equity may be. Okay? Very bullish there. Microsoft. We talked about it. 330, 329 basically, right into that level. Go watch yesterday's video. I can't make this stuff up. I'm not. I'm just saying. If you get above 330, in my opinion, you're very bullish and you start to look for longer dated swings. Maybe even to December, it could be really nice. But perfect action here. Broke, retest 322 like we mentioned yesterday. Absolutely beautiful. Nothing else to say here. Next up, Amazon. Amazon was my day trade all day. It was the one thing that I was constantly trading. If you remember from yesterday's video, bringing up the daily real quick, pull up the indicators. So you knew here on Amazon, right? Go to the weekly. I'm sorry. Your 200 daily moving or your 100 daily moving average on the weekly, you were mounted above. You came right into that trend line. So all day long in Discord, this was the only trade that I was hyper focused on because it was just free money and I didn't see a downside opportunity here. So first up, we got into it. We got into it around 126.2. We traded that into 127. And then we said if that breaks and holds and you made this little pennant, then you're pushing into 128.2, which was right there. And ultimately is where we kind of came into, right at that kind of resistance there. Amazon, top watch into next week. Very strong name. I'm looking for this back into 132. If it gets over the 200 weekly moving average, you're going to be looking very strong as well, right? Go to the daily. You can see, pull this up really quick so you can see it right there. Yeah, you're going to notice your target's going to be basically to 135 if you break that trend line like we just mentioned, which is also that gap fill. One of the best looking names in the next week. Keep it on your radar. It needs to be at the tippity top of your list right now. Yeah, Amazon, top dog. Now, we talked about NVIDIA a lot. I talked about some semiconductor names, how we were bearish on them, and how we had to flip because you started breaking back up. Now, NVIDIA into this week is going to be very critical. So NVIDIA short term, your target is around 460, 464. But if NVIDIA gets over 464, I personally believe shorts across the board start to cover rapidly. I'm talking rapid. I think the instant covering. At that point, over 464, you're pushing back into all-time highs. Personal opinion here. Now, in the after hours, and Microsoft is still really killing it. You need to be watching it. High potential. They break over the 30 and run next week. Get the top watch as well. They just announced a new AI chip that they're unveiling this coming month. Microsoft did. And they said it could reduce costs on NVIDIA chips by like half. So very bullish news. NVIDIA is down in the after hours. I think NVIDIA will bounce back easy. But Microsoft is a big watch from that news. Definitely paying close attention. But NVIDIA, again, like I said, over 464, hold on. It's going to get crazy. Again, I have a lot of names. I'm sorry, I'm going over here. AVGO. This was another big one here. You had the hold and the close above 840. Going into Monday. Crazy, I know. I know, guys, I know. I can't believe I'm going to say it. I am targeting. Guys, I'm serious. Holding 840, you could see I'm going to give you the conservative. I want to be conservative here. Wait for the break of around 856, and then you're pushing instantly, very quickly. You're going to push very, very quickly into 872, 875. Immediately upon that break of 856, that's what you're looking for. Or you can be a little bit conservative, let the break happen, right? So you're looking for the break, retest, and then push. That's what you'd be looking for as well. AVGO, love it. Semis across the board, very strong name. Last thing I'm going to mention is going to be Netflix, because I think I think it's value at this point. So Netflix on the daily, great looking name. I'm looking for this to at least get back into 400. You break over the 200 SMA on the daily and weekly, I think you're back in business as well. You look really good. So you want to break back over 416 on the weekly 200 SMA. But yeah, I still love it. You get over 415, 416, you look really good. Okay, guys. I got one more. Last one. I know I keep saying last one. This is really last one, I promise. Meta. And I'm not talking about a metahuman, but this thing is moving like a metahuman. Absolutely ripping. Absolutely. You have held the daily 100 SMA to the tick. You're breaking the trend. You're looking for a test of highs 326, but the goal is 331. This has been the goal. This has been the target for months now. This is where you're looking, 331. You break above 331, and again, you're going to come after me. I'm sorry. You do it. Over 331.6. The target is all-time highs. Meta has been saying the word AI more than Google, more than NVIDIA, more than everyone combined. And it's working. It is working. And Meta held up better than any stock, in my opinion, during the SPY and QQQ pullback. Meta looks very good. Now, again, I'm not saying long the house yet. You look really good. You look really good. You have some data being dropped next week. If data is not terrible, it just doesn't need to be terrible. That's me pointing to the upside. That's where we're going. That's my opinion. Comment down below. I'm going to get to those comments. Remember, second channel, new video out today. Have a good one, traders.